she laughed. If her project succeeded, she'd be a rock star in the field. Publicity, publication, funding ever at her fingertips, name recognition firmly cemented, assuming her colleagues and recruits did their parts to her specifications. Inside the surgical unit were 2 of her researchers, 2 from the field biology team, plus a surgeon and a veterinarian. Disciplinary crossover at its finest, according to everyone but her wife, Rhea. While the red light glowed, Sean flicked through videos from the trap cameras. Kate was a rangier female with pale cream belly fur that shaded to smoke, lit with blazes of rust orange around her ears and snout. The platonic ideal of a gray wolf, though just as underweight as the rest of her pack, one of 2 wild family groups remaining in the state. Her coat was more brindled than those of her parents or her siblings. "The light's off," Alex said sometime later. She stood and brushed dirt off her jeans as the unit's bay cranked open with a garage door grind. Charles Grant stood with his surgical bootied feet level with Sean's chin, peering down from the top of the lift. "Step on, Doc," he said. Sean mounted the lift platform and bounced her heel as it raised ponderously. The surgical unit's central hub housed a desktop computer and a set of imaging readout monitors, a few cabinets, and a single entry into the containment/prep room. Through there, she assumed, waited their wolf. Charles's hands were freshly washed and damp when he shook hers, but his scrub still carried a fine mist of blood. He'd worn her blood the same way, a few weeks back. "The neural mesh slid right into place as expected. June is wrapping now with sutures and cleanup, so you should be able to release her in the morning," he said. "No complications?" "None at all. Easy sedation and easy surgery, though she'll be a bald doggy for a little while," Charles said. As Charles sat at the computer, she ducked into the prep room to scrub up. Bald doggy. Sean's matching shave had read as a fashion statement with her already close-cropped hair. Despite all the buzzwords she deployed in the cash flow application about becoming in kind with an animal, the slim differentiation in practice, the same surgeon inserting her neural receiver and the wolf's transmitter, remained unsettling. The secure door opened and her mixed team trickled out, eyes smiling over sterile masks. Sean slipped by to greet the veterinarian who stayed behind, then paused on the threshold. On trail cameras, a gray wolf could pass for an oddly colored husky or shepherd mix, long of leg and broad of jaw. But in the flesh, her barrel chest rising and falling at the pace of the ventilator tube lodged between her teeth, Kate filled the room. The furry triangle ears and narrow snout reminded Sean of her own dog, Miller, but the paws, lax and spread, with one hanging off the edge of the table, were almost the same size as her wife's hands. Sean wrestled with the urge to stroke the wiry gloss of her coat. "Impressive, huh?" Dr. June said, stripping her gloves off into the trash. "She's so big," Sean muttered. The imposing physical reality of her subject flung her imagination back to childhood, the solitary library nook where she devoured books about girls raised by wolves, girls running with the pack, and later, in a fancier library hundreds of miles away, books about women who studied them. Through all her funding applications, public and private alike, Sean had held the significance of her first flush of attraction close and quiet, burrowed ventricle deep and thereby protected from the rest of the gamesmanship. Nonetheless, June gave her a knowing glance. "You can pet her. Just stay away from the head," she said. "Am I that obvious?" Sean asked. "Nah, everyone wants to handle her." Sean laid a loose palm on the wolf's radiator-warm haunch. The fur was coarser than she expected. Her fingers sank deep to scritch. The meat and disinfectant stink of surgery combined with stale breath and wet dog. Sean's stomach roiled. At the base of Kate's skull, stitches and suture tape formed a puckered black and purple mouth. "We were able to ease the mesh in with minimal disturbance to bone and tissue, so honestly, she should be good to go."